Hi everyone. In today's session, we will be going to discuss about the protoplast culture and somatic hybridization. Let's begin. So to know what is protoplast culture, first we have to know what is the protoplast. So protoplast means what? It is a cell without the cell wall, okay? A cell which is not having the cell wall is known as the protoplast. And the term protoplast, it was introduced in the year 1880 by a scientist known as Hansteen, okay? And to isolate the protoplast, it involves the two method, okay? So the first method, it is known as the mechanical method, and the second method, it is the enzymatic method. And the first isolation of the protoplast was found in mechanical method, okay? So which we will discuss about these methods in upcoming slides. So the first isolation of the protoplast was achieved by the scientist known as Klicker in 1892 in the enzymatic method. And the importance of this protoplast and their culture, it usually involves three main steps, that is isolation of the protoplast, and culture of the protoplast, and fusion of the protoplast, okay? So the isolation of the protoplast means what? So the protoplast, it can be isolated either from the roots, leaves, fruits, tubers, root nodules, endosperm, pollen mother cells, okay? So it can be isolated from the parts of the plant, okay? And usually it also involves the mechanical method and enzymatic method. And if we talk about the protoplast fusion, so this protoplast fusion, it is categorized in two main categories, okay? So the first one, that is spontaneous fusion, and the second one is induced fusion, okay? So the spontaneous fusion means what happens here: the protoplast during the isolation, it often fuses spontaneously, and this phenomenon is known as the spontaneous fusion, okay? So during the enzymatic treatment, so the protoplast from adjoining cells, they fuse either from the plasmodesmata to form the multinucleate protoplast. So this is the spontaneous fusion. And in induced fusion, what happens? The fusion of a freely isolated protoplast forms the different sources, so which help in fusion of the inducing chemical agents, that is known as the induced diffusion, okay? So what happens in induced diffusion? Usually the isolated protoplast, they form different sources which help in fusing, okay? So they induce few chemicals, chemical agents, so that is known as the induced diffusion. If we see to the applications of the protoplast, so the protoplast culture, it can be helpful in regenerating whole new plant, and hybrids can be developed from the protoplast fusion, and it is easy to perform a single cell cloning by using the protoplast, okay? So these protoplast, they are useful for the membrane studies like transport and uptake processes, okay? So this was about the short introduction of protoplast and the protoplast culture. So moving towards the main concept, that is how the protoplast are isolated, okay? So the protoplast, they are isolated by two main methods, that is mechanical method as well as the enzymatic method, right? So firstly we will discuss about the mechanical method now. So in this mechanical method, the large and highly vacuolated cells of the storage tissues, okay? So we are talking about the protoplast isolation now. So the protoplast, they are isolated by mechanical method as well as the enzymatic method. So what happens in a mechanical method is that, so here the large and highly vacuolated cells of the storage tissues, okay? So we know what are the storage tissues, okay? So the tissues like onion bulb scales and radish root and beetroot, so such tissues, they could be used for the isolation of the protoplast. And here The cell walls of the plasmolized cells are ruptured or they are cutted by mechanical processes. So during these conditions, the protoplast it remains in concentrated state. Concentrated state means what? It is remaining in the osmotic state or osmotic solutions. Okay. So the deplasmolysis of the protoplast swells and comes out of the cell walls. Okay, and this method is not convenient, and only small percentage of the protoplast remains viable. And but this method it is devoid of the harmful actions which are caused by the enzymatic processes. So from here, after the rapture, because the rapture is not convenient for the protoplast, so it involve or it leads to the enzymatic processes. From there the enzymatic method starts. So the mechanical method of the protoplast isolation is no more in use because of the yield of the protoplast and the viability it is very low in these conditions, and it is restricted to certain tissues with vacuolated cells only. And the method is very laborious, and however some workers they prefer mechanical method if the cell wall is degrading enzymes. So degrading means what? So degrading means it is going in lower state. Okay, so lower state means enzymatic method it requires the enzymes. So moving towards the next method, that is the enzymatic method. So this method it consists of few steps. That is the first step, it is involving the sterilization of the leaves or the part of the plant which you have taken for the protoplast culture. Okay, so firstly the sterilization, that is a surface sterilization, is found here. Secondly, what happens? The part which we have chosen for the protoplast culture of the plant, it is been rinsed in proper osmoticum. Osmoticum means what? So the substance means here the part of the plant. Okay, so which we have chosen for the protoplast culture, right? So either it plays a role in increase or in maintaining the osmotic pressure. Okay, so that is known as the osmoticum. Osmoticum means a substance which plays a role in increase or decrease or either in maintaining the osmotic pressure. Okay, so especially within the cell. So the second step is it is rinsed in proper osmotic conditions. And in third step what happens? The lower epidermis is peeled off. Okay, so the epidermis is peeled off, or the material it is sliced to help the entry of the enzymatic solution. Okay, and in fourth step what happens? It is treated with the enzymatic solutions. And in fifth step, the removal of the cell or the enzymes. Okay, so for the purification of the protoplast, it takes place here. So in fifth step, the removal of the cell or the enzymes and purification of the protoplast is going to take place in the fifth step. And then in the last step what happens? The protoplast are transferred to the suitable culture media. So this is the steps involved in the enzymatic methods. Okay, so firstly what happens in the enzymatic method? The part which we have chosen for the protoplast culture, it is being surface sterilized. Okay, so after that it is rinsed in proper osmotic conditions. And thirdly what happens? The epidermis is peeled off, and the entry of the enzyme solution is made here. Okay, so then what happens? They are treated with the enzymatic solution. Okay, so after that what happens? The removal of the cell or the enzyme is going to take place, and then what happens? Purification of the protoplast is going to take place. And the protoplast, they are finally they are transferred to a suitable culture medium. Okay, so the cell wall is mainly composed of the cellulose and hemicellulose and the pectin, and some amount of the lipid and protein also. So the cellulose is a polymer of the glucose. Okay, so we know that cellulose is a polymer of the glucose, and xylene is a kind of the hemicellulose, and pectins are polysaccharides. Okay, so they contain sugars such as galactose and galactoronic acids. Okay, so these adjacent cells are attached to one another by the middle of the lamella, which is pectic substances, and the enzymes used for the cell wall degradation means lower states. Okay, and the cell walls which are used for the cell degradation of the enzymes are cellulose, hemicellulose, and the pectinase. Okay, so the enzymatic treatment, it can be mainly done in two ways, that is in a mixed enzyme method. That is, in mixed enzyme method means what happens here, we will take all the substances of the cellulose, hemicellulase, and pectinase. Okay, and mixture is used for the cell wall degradation. And in second method, what happens, so first pectinase is used here, so this will separate the cells, and then the cellulase is used, and hemicellulase is used in the mixture. It is used for the digestion of the cell walls. Okay, so this is about the enzymatic method. Okay, we have to remember the 6 steps here. Firstly, the sterilization stage happens, and then what happens, it is rinsed in osmotic conditions, and epidermis is peeled off, and then the cells are treated with enzymatic solution. Then what happens, removal of the enzymes takes place, then purification of the protoplast happens, and finally what happens, the protoplast, they are transferred to the suitable culture media. So if we see the isolation of the protoplast by using the leaves, so here you can see the mature leaves of any suitable plant, they are taken. Okay, so firstly what happens here, we have to take the mature leaves of the plant, and then we have to rinse in a tap water. Okay, so the leaves are immersed in hypochlorite solutions for about 10 minutes. Okay, so the leaves are immersed in hypochlorite solutions for 10 minutes, and these are washed 3 times in double distilled water. Okay, so after keeping it in the hypochlorite solution. Okay, so after keeping the leaves in hypochlorite solution for 10 minutes, then these leaves are washed in double distilled water. Okay, so then what happens, the culture medium, which is adjusted to the pH and osmolarity of the enzyme solution, may be used for rinsing the leaves. Then with a fine force, the lower epidermis is peeled off to help the entry of the enzyme solution. And then the leaves are cut into small pieces. Okay, so after peeling, the leaves are cut into small pieces. Then the leaf pieces are placed in a petri dish which is containing the enzyme solution. Okay, so the leaf which are cutted, they are placed in the petri plate, and here in petri plate it is containing the enzyme solution. Okay, so the enzyme solution having the composition of 0.5% of mesoenzyme, that is a mesozyme. Okay, so 2% of cellulase, 13% of mannitol at pH 5.4, and this petri dish are sealed with parafilm, and they are wrapped with the aluminium foils. Okay, so parafilm, it is nothing but the covering of the culture tubes, which does not help in organisms to interact with the outside atmosphere. Okay, so here the petri plates, they are sealed with the parafilm, which is nothing but the tape like material, and these are incubated at 25 Celsius for 12 to 18 hours, and the mesophyll, they remain in the enzyme solutions. Mesophyll means the leaves. Okay, so they remain in the enzyme solution. Then by gentle process the protoplast are released, and the protoplast enzyme mixture which we have kept here. Okay, so the protoplast enzyme mixture, why we call it as protoplast enzyme mixture, because now the protoplast are found in the enzyme solution. Okay, so the enzyme mixture is filtered through the nylon cloth, and the filtration it removes the cell wall and cell clumps and undigested tissues. Okay, so the filtrate is centrifuged, and the superturned fluid which contains the cell wall debris, and it is removed by the pipette. Okay, so the protoplast remain at the base of the tube, you can see here. So the protoplast after centrifuging it remain at the bottom of the test tube, and we will remove the protoplast by using the pipette, and the protoplast they remain at the base of the tube. Okay, so the isolated protoplast are resuspended in the culture medium, and the process is repeated 3 times. Okay, so to form a protoplast, so the resuspension of the culture medium it is repeated for 3 times, and finally the protoplast are ready to culture. So you can see here the protoplast culture here, and the protoplast just after the isolation. So here we have isolated the protoplast. Okay, so how we have isolated the protoplast, we have taken the mature leaf and we have kept in a hypochlorite solution for 10 minutes. After that we have rinsed by using the distilled water. So the distilled water it maintain the pH and osmolarity of the enzyme solutions. Okay, so then we have peeled off the epidermis, then we have cutted the leaves, and we have kept in the enzymatic solution, and this enzymatic solution it contains 0.5 microzyme, 2% of cellulose, 13% of mannitol. Okay, and which is being incubated for 25 degrees Celsius for 12 to 18 hours. Okay, so then what happens, the protoplast has been released here now. So after releasing the protoplast, so it is known as the protoplast enzyme mixture now. Okay, so this mixture is then filtrated by using the nylon cloth, and the filtration here it removes the cell wall, cell clumps and the undigested tissues in this leaf. Okay, so after that we have potted it in the test tube, and we have centrifuged here, and after centrifuging the bottom of the test tube it contains the protoplast, and we remove the protoplast by using the pipette, and this process here it is repeated for 3 times. So after formation of the protoplast or the isolation of the protoplast, so these protoplast they are ready to be cultured here now. So this side you can see the isolation of the protoplast. Okay, until here. So after the isolation of the protoplast, the isolated cells they are more or less spherical in shape, they are nothing but the protoplast. Okay, so the protoplast they can be cultured in the microchamber or in soft agar medium or Murashige Sug medium, which supplemented the auxins cytokinin to help the growth of the protoplast. And to prevent the osmotic conditions in this medium, so 13% of mannitol is being added to that, and 1.5% of the agar is added to the medium, and the culture is then incubated at 25 degrees Celsius in the presence of dim white light. For the wall formation in the physiolus, the calcium chloride and ammonium nitrate are being added in this medium. Okay, and then within 5 to 7 days the cell wall is formed here, and then what happens, the protoplast divide for forming the cell and aggregates, and ultimately it forms the callus there, and this callus when subcultured or an medium lacking in auxin and mannitol form embryoids. Okay, so after the formation of the embryoids they produce the plantlets by somatic embryogenesis. Okay, so this is the process of protoplast culture. And if you see Factors affecting the protoplast culture. So you can see here the factors which affect the protoplast culture, they are nothing but the plant species and varieties which we choose for the protoplast culture. Okay, so it is the starting process of the protoplast isolation. So it depends upon which part of the plant we choose here, or which plant we choose for the isolation of the protoplast. That is leaf, root, fruit, endosperm. Okay, so it depends upon which we choose, that means a healthy plant or a unhealthy plant. Okay, so the factors which affect the protoplast culture is the first one, that is plant species and varieties. Second one, that is plant age and the organ. So the age of the donor plant is also affecting the protoplast culture. Then pre-culture conditions, and also we can see here the pre-treatment to the tissue before isolation of the protoplast, it also affects the protoplast culture. Then the density of the chambers or the culture medium, it is also affecting the protoplast culture. So you can refer it later in this slide. Moving towards the next slide, that is the applications of the protoplast. So apart from these points, the protoplast culture, it also applied in the study of osmotic behavior, study of growth promoters, especially in IAA actions. Okay, then it also helps in a study of cell wall formation, and also it helps in the study of photosynthesis, like in C3 and C4 plants. Okay, so this was about the applications of the protoplast, and how the protoplasts are cultured here you came to know. So moving towards the next concept, that is somatic hybridization. Okay, so this somatic hybridization was firstly introduced by the scientist known as Carlson in the Nicotina species. So, what is the somatic hybridization? So, the production of the hybrid plants through the fusion of two different protoplasts is known as the somatic hybridization. Okay, so what is the somatic hybridization? The production of the hybrid plant through the fusion of two different plant protoplasts is known as the somatic hybridization. And the hybrids which are formed from the somatic hybridization, they are known as the somatic hybrids. Okay, so what is the somatic hybridization? The production of the hybrid plant through the fusion of two different protoplast is known as the somatic hybridization. And what is the somatic hybrids? So the hybrids which are formed from the somatic hybridization are known as the somatic hybrids. So don't get confused here. So hybridization means what? Somatic hybridization means what? So the production of the hybrid plant through the fusion of two different protoplast is known as the somatic hybridization. Okay, so such hybrids, they are known as somatic hybrids, right? And here in this somatic hybridization, it involves the four main steps, that is the isolation of the protoplast, fusion of the protoplast, and selection of the somatic hybridized cells, then lastly the culture of the hybrid cells, and last what happens, regeneration of the hybrid plant from them. Okay, so the somatic hybridization technique, it involves mainly four steps. Okay, so the first one isolation, second one fusion, and the third one, that is selection or identification of the hybrid cells. Fourthly, we have to culture the hybrid cells. Then after culturing, lastly what happens, we will get the regenerated plant from them. Okay, so it is a technique which allows the manipulation of the cellular genome by the process of protoplast fusion. Okay, so the somatic hybridization, it involves three aspects, that is fusion of the protoplast, selection of the hybrid cells, and identification of the hybrid plant. So we will discuss about these three steps deeply now. So in the first step, that is in the fusion of the protoplast, so the protoplast fusion, it involves mixing of the protoplast of two different genomes. Okay, so you can see here, this leaf is different and this leaf is different. So we have taken two different protoplast of the two different plants, right? So in the fusion of the protoplast, it is the mixing of protoplast of two different genomes. And this fusion of the protoplast, it can be explained in spontaneous fusion, mechanical fusion, and induced fusion methods. Okay, so again the fusion method, it is having three main methods, that is in a spontaneous, mechanical, and induced fusions. Okay, so spontaneous fusion means what happens here, it is the continuous fusion process. Okay, so the cell fusion is natural process as we see in the egg fertilization. Okay, so during this course, the enzymatic degradation of the cell walls takes place, and some of the adjoining protoplast may fuse to form the homokaryonize. Homokaryonize means these fused cells sometimes may contain high number of the nuclei, that is it may have 2 to 40 number of nuclei in them. Okay, so this is the spontaneous fusion. And in mechanical fusion, what happens, the protoplast can be fused by pushing them together in mechanical processes. That means the mechanical fusion, the it may damage sometimes due to the injuries of the plants. Okay, so example we can take in mechanical fusion. So the protoplast of the Lilium species and Trillium species, they can be fused in enzyme solution by gentle trapping in depression of the slides. Okay, so the mechanical fusion means what happens here, extra energy is applied in this process. Okay, and in the last step, that is in induced fusion method, so the freshly isolated protoplast, they can be fused by induction. Okay, so there are several fusion inducing agents which are known as fusogens. Okay, so these fusogens, they are nothing but NaNO3 polyethylene glycol. This polyethylene glycol is known as the PEG. Okay, and also lysyme, dextrin, they are the fusogens which are used to produce the induced fusion. Okay, so the induced fusion, it can be explained in three main categories, that is addition fusion, plasma membrane fusion, formation of the heterocans. So in addition fusion, what happens, when the two protoplasts are in close contact with each other, so there is a formation of addition. Okay, so the addition occurs there, and this addition, it can be induced by the fusogens. So fusogens, as I said, polyethylene glycol, NaNO3, and Ca2 plus. So these are the fusogens which cause the induced fusion in the protoplast. Okay, so they can be introduced in the addition processes. So in addition processes, the fusogens which are applied, they are nothing but PEG, that is polyethylene glycol, and a high pH is applied here, then Ca2 plus is applied here. Okay, and in the next step, that is a plasma membrane fusion, what happens here, high pH and high Ca2 plus ions are applied here, and the high temperature also helps in lipid molecules for accumulating the protoplast membrane, so that membrane fusion occurs there. And here also the polyethylene glycol causes rapid accumulations, and the formation of the clumps of the protoplast occur here. And in the third step, that is a formation of the heterocons, so the fused protoplast, they get rounded as a result of cytoplasmic bridges, which lead to the formation of the spherical homokaryon or a heterokaryon. Okay, so these are the steps which involved in the induced fusion. Okay, so in fusion, you came to study about the spontaneous fusion, mechanical fusion, and induced fusion. Moving towards the next method of the somatic hybridization, that is the selection of the hybrids. Okay, so the selection of the hybrids means here it involves again various methods like biochemical method and visual method. Okay, so there are two methods in the selections of the hybrid. They are biochemical method and visual method. So selection of the hybrid cells means what? So about 20 to 25% of the protoplast are actually involved in the fusion process, right? So not 100% of the protoplast is fused here. Okay, so in protoplast culture only 20 to 25% of the protoplast are actually involved in the fusion process. Okay, so after the fusion process, the protoplast population consists of a heterogeneous mixture of an unfused chloroplast, homokaryons and heterokaryons. Okay, so it is therefore necessary to select the hybrid cells, that is the heterokaryons. And the commonly used method employed for the selection of the hybrid cells are they are nothing but biochemical method, visual method. Okay, so the first one, that is in a biochemical method, what happens, the selection of the hybrid cells are based on the use of biochemical compounds in the medium. Okay, so in biochemical methods what happen, the selection of the hybrids, they are done on the basis of biochemical compounds in the medium. Okay, so that is the selection medium which we choose for the culture. And these compounds, they help to sort out the hybrid and parental cells based on their differences in the expressions of the character. And in visual method what happens, the visual selections of the hybrid cells, although it is very efficient, and in some of the somatic hybridization experiments, the chloroplast deficient and the protoplast of one of the parent are fused with a green protoplast of another parent. Okay, so this facilitates the visual identification of the heterokaryons under the light microscope. And the heterokaryons are bigger and green in color, while the parental protoplast, they are either small or colorless. So for the further identification of this heterokaryons as to be carried out to develop the specific hybrid plant, so the visual method is very important. Okay, so this is about the selection process of the hybrids. Moving towards the next one, that is the identification of the hybrid cells or the hybrid plant. So it is the last concept of the somatic hybridization. So the development of the hybrid cells, it is followed by the generation of the hybrid plant. So the plant which requires a clear proof of genetic contribution from both parental protoplast. Okay, so the hybridity, must be established only from the euploid. Okay, euploid, and not from the aneuploid hybrids. Some of the commonly used identification of the hybrid plants are morphology of the hybrid plant. Morphology means the features of the external characters of the plant. And also the identification of the hybrids can be identified with the help of isoenzymes, symmetric and asymmetric hybrids. Okay, so identification, it is also main concept of the somatic hybridization. So if we see to the hybrids now, so hybrid means what? Hybrid means when only the cytoplasm fuses and the genetic information from one of the two nuclei is being lost is known as the hybrid. Okay, so what is hybrid? Only the cytoplasm fuses and genetic information from one of the two nuclei is being lost is known as the hybrid. And the phenomenon of the formation of the hybrid is known as hybridization. Okay, so the formation of this hybrid is known as hybridization. And normally these hybrids are produced when the protoplast from two phylogenetically distinct species are fused. Okay, so two phylogenetically distinct species, when they are fused, only the this one hybrid is formed. And genetically these hybrids are hybrid only for cytoplasmic traits. Okay, so the applications of these hybrids may be a wonderful technique where the desired cytoplasm can be transferred in the single step. Okay, so these hybrids are important for the transfer of a cytoplasmic male sterility, antibiotic, and herbicide resistant in the agricultural useful plants. And some of the genetic traits in certain plants are cytoplasmically controlled. Okay, so if we see the advantages and limitations of the somatic hybridization. Okay, so the applications of the somatic hybridization, it is usually applied in disease resistant selection of the hybrid cells. Then it is usually applied in environmental tolerance, quality characters, cytoplasmic male sterilities. So these are the applications of the somatic hybridization. And if we see the limitations of the somatic hybridization, so the somatic hybridization does not always produce the plant that give fertile and visible seeds. And the protoplast culture is frequently associated with the genetic instability. And there are limitations in the selection methods of the hybrids. And some of the somatic hybrids, they particularly when produced by the fusion of the taxonomically different partners, are unbalanced and not viable. Okay, so there are many limitations, like regenerated plants obtained from somatic hybridization are often variable due to the somoclonal variations, so which we will study in the higher education about this. So the chromosomal elimination, and also it is a limitation in the somatic hybridization. Okay, so here if we see the applications of the somatic hybridization and hybridization. So hybridization has been successfully used to make the intergeneric and interspecific transfer of the cytoplasmic trait, like male sterility and the disease of the disease resistant plants, and herbicide resistance. Okay, so this was about the somatic hybridization and also about the protoplast culture. I hope you guys understood well. And this completes my syllabus for your part. That is, we completed the PCR, ELISA, and also Unit 3, that is plant tissue culture. Okay, so I hope you guys understood well about this concept. Thank you.